Hello and welcome to the Money Lap on a Wednesday. We call this the group chat. On today's show, we've got Sam Mayer joining us, driver of the number 41, Haas Factory Ford in the Xfinity Series. We've got a rumor about Interlagos and NASCAR and possibly some sort of weird oval there. We've got news on the Jesse Love disqualification being upheld as of this afternoon. Some other topics out there, including the WRC and the FIA finally releasing that ban on free speech. That's for America. Let's go. Let's hit it. I forgot Rodney Childers also leaves Spire. That's a discussion point here today. AJ Henderson, video editor and all-around great guy at Money Lap, joins us. We got Joshua Mendoza, known as the producer of Money Lap on Mondays and Wednesdays. All-around good guy as well. Full of good fellas on this one here. Yeah, you guys, that's good. If you're joining us on YouTube, you'll see stuff, some imagery, some videos. If you're listening, we'll do our best to describe them as always. We've missed a couple weeks, boys. Good to have you back.
Yeah,
we AJ and I just spent the last. What's that?
The enthusiasm by AJ was palpable.
I didn't want to call up Josh. He was about to go before I went.
Oh, just AJ and I, but we just been playing Minecraft for the last 2 weeks. We just got done with our 2-week phase. It was pretty cool. Sam joined us for a couple of nether runs. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Parker, we really missed you there.
Once again, speaking Chinese to me. Don't understand the word you're saying. That's great. You guys can take over when he joins. That's what we were talking about. He had to skip on us 2 weeks ago when we haven't done one in 2 or 3 weeks now for the Wednesday show. So this is going to be a big reunion. He'll be very happy to be able to talk about Minecraft once again. But guys, all right. So before we dive into all that, just quickly, if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to have a request from you. We were just discussing how to get more people to know that we're doing this show. People who have followed me on Twitter, Instagram, follow Landon, follow the Money Lap, they know we're doing this, right? But we've been trying to get more people to know. We want your suggestions. Put them in the comments below. Even if you're listening, join us on YouTube. Let us know what you think about getting more people to know the Money Lap, 1A, exists, 2, that they would actually watch or listen and enjoy what we're doing. We're looking for format suggestions, topic suggestions, overall talent suggestions. I think would be a key one if you want to kick Landon and I out of it. That makes sense. But we went pretty deep. We were looking at the analytics, guys. And I was going in the analytics. Josh and AJ believe that I'm stupid and I shouldn't look at that stuff, basically. So
that's not at all what we said. I thought
that's how it went down.
That's what I was saying.
I personally feel like you guys just talk a hell of a lot, and I don't know about you, but when I'm producing, I gotta have a Red Bull because you're like a really solid 160 lap green flag run at a race. It's just
wow. We're not a late green white checker restart. Is what you're saying? We gotta bring more energy to it.
No. It's bring something like, I don't know, say something totally off the cuff. Something that
and on about packages and tires. I gotta hear about tire fall off every single
track
week.
Limits.
Oh no, track limits. We want more horsepower. What more topics are there? For the love of, what are you talking about here? Sweet Mother of Mary.
Oh man.
Those are the only 4 motorsport topics: tire wear, track limits.
If you think there's something we should be discussing outside of motorsports on the Money Lap, give us a chance. Then we can dive into more recurring topics like horsepower, track limits, packages, next gen hatred, that sort of thing, parity. Although we're not big haters, but we have been. We've given them plenty of ideas of how they can fix everything.
I'm just gonna say, they shut down the idea of run what you brung for the All-Star race. And as a massive fan of Lemons racing, I feel like that was a huge miss.
We didn't even mention it. The All-Star format revealed.
Promoters
once again.
What the heck is that?
So,
dude, imagine if they came up with like themed cars that had like just top hats on the stuff and all that, and that would be incredible.
I've had a thought about the All-Star race forever, which is either what NASCAR proposed, which was the idea of like a run what you brung, just go insane, see what you guys would create with no rules, right? That would be kind of fun. Then it's like a technological exercise. The other side of that, completely opposite, rental cars. I mean,
Ooh.
like Chevy brings the now no longer being made Impala, right?
Mhm.
Toyota brings a Camry. Ford brings a Fusion, whatever it would be these days. And you have straight up road cars that the drivers race in.
That
Dude.
sounds really boring.
That sounds
You're an idiot.
phenomenal.
It would be amazing.
Why? At that point, just don't.
Ever watch the Freedom 500?
Yeah, exactly. But now you have the best
Cool.
drivers in the United States and teams racing straight up road cars, and they can't touch them. The manufacturer brings them all.
I know.
Get your numbers on the side, some stickers, that sort of.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like the Freedom 500 is cool and all that, but it's the All-Star race. I want to see I want to see stock cars. I want to see
These
like
are
the
stock
actual
cars.
NASCAR
Literally
cars.
stock.
No,
It's
I want
the
to see.
stockest car there
I
is.
want to see like 1,000. Just give us 1,000 horsepower. How's it that hard? Why we
You want a
resorting to
1,000
driving
horse?
road cars?
I
You
like
want a
1,000
1,000 horsepower Impala, is what you're saying.
At this point, just don't do.
Oh,
just
by
don't
the way,
do
it's not the
All-Star
Impala.
race.
I meant the Malibu. That's
The
what I meant, is
Malibu.
the Malibu. Hey,
Yeah.
wait a second. But think about this. Then the pit stops would have to be done on road cars. They have to use the jacks provided by the manufacturer.
Okay, see, now that's a good idea.
For
I like
the
that.
pit stops.
And
Now
it's the
that is a
driver.
great
The
idea.
driver has to do it. No pit crew. He
And
gets
you
out.
got 5 lugs. You gotta go around each
Little
side.
breaker bar.
All right, it's weird this hasn't been accepted. I don't understand. They did reveal the new format. It is manufacturer based. There's some sort of manufacturer competition. I got lost in the 3 pages of rules that were presented once again. And there's a promoter's caution between lap 100 and 120 or something. I didn't, or 200 to 220. I didn't fully. The All-Star format to me I never pay attention till the actual race because
Yeah,
it's just
there's, like,
always
no point.
it's so confusing. So,
they're not doing any experiments this year.
well, I thought it was there's a manufacturer thing.
Is there? Because I didn't see
Yeah.
it on the format that.
What is it? Is it just like a
Oh.
points thing between the
Oh,
I
manufacturers?
think it's a
Like,
who
point thing
cares
for the
then?
manufacturers, and I was like, give them rental cars.
All right.
Then I'd care.
I
Give 'em
just
rental
don't.
cars.
The All-Star race, I don't see any appeal to the All-Star race at this point, other than it's at North Wilkesboro. Like that's the only good thing about it, and it's like, well, crap, they race late models there that'll put on better racing than the Cup Series. So,
Oof.
like,
Wow.
I don't care at all about the All-Star race. I'm so over it.
They should have to run rain tires in the dry.
Now that's a great idea.
You don't know.
Remember when the
Yeah.
Truck Series
Did it? It was epic.
ran the Martinsville
Yeah.
race and then it
Yep.
dried out? They were still on them. It was great.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
A manufacturer award presented for the best average finish in the All-Star race.
No, don't care. Just move
That
on.
is
Wow, that is
so lame. Jesus.
Hey, bring up this Interlagos thing because this is kind of
Okay.
interesting. You did research
right.
on this.
So I did some research. On Reddit, there was a post by Mega Ninja 4. Very
That's an
just
internet name.
yeah. But its source was a Brazilian sports marketing site. And I'm not even going to pronounce it because in fear of mispronouncing something. NASCAR is in talks with Interlagos, and the very interesting thing that they mentioned was the discussion that they could run the Interlagos Oval. Now, who here
Did
knew
not
what
know
the
that
Interlagos? None of us. Okay, so none of us knew what the Interlagos Oval is. Now it is. Here is a nope. Oh, gotta add it to the stage. There you go. You can kind of see the oval. It is the outside
Oh
section
my gosh.
of the track, and you could use
Oh,
all the way around there.
wait. So it'd be
Okay,
like
that's actually kind of cool.
like a 5-corner. Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? A 5-corner oval. That is well, that's insane.
Oh,
All right,
that's
well then
kinda
I'd
sick.
sign up.
I like that.
That'd be amazing.
I thought it was going to be like Monza, where it's just like a big oval and, it's like Talladega, basically, like one of
Yeah.
those speed ovals. But this is a real racetrack.
No, it's legit. They'd be doing about 205 miles an hour, 210.
Oh, and then
after
going
20
into-
straightaways.
What's the corner in the bottom right? What would that be? Turn 3?
Curva
Breaking down for that?
Curva 3 is what that
Well,
labels
it's
it as.
Yeah, imagine
basically,
Oh, look at that brake zone, dude.
But to think about that uphill straight, the front stretch is uphill, and then it would go on forever. You'd be forever.
Here,
That'd be the longest straightaway in NASCAR.
So I'm gonna pull up. I went on Google Maps and I looked at this, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's not been used for years. It doesn't look, it doesn't look like it's gonna be a safe." I don't know. I was looking at the state of it. The only thing I'll say is, it looks very tight. Like they're gonna need to widen this somehow. I feel like, because
we'll make it wide enough. Just watch.
Here, this is
you put 36 of them NASCAR stock cars out there.
Oh, what the heck is that?
It's a 2-lane road.
That's not a racetrack.
This is I don't see this happening. Whoever this person is, whatever they're taking, we'd all like pizza.
But
I don't know if we'd.
It exists.
My goodness.
This exists. There is banking there.
This is barely even a racetrack. There's an electrical pole going over it.
This is such a problem.
This ain't gonna work.
It's very clearly going to need a repave.
Wait,
there's a pond.
Look left. If you're listening, by the way, right now, there is a pond to the left. You'd have to have the like the guy who raced in the 500 with a oxygen tank, so that if he went into Lake Lloyd, like that is literally that close. So this is a road around the track that they used for vehicles to get around while the race is happening on the actual track.
And now they're acting like it used to be an oval.
No, it is, because here's where it becomes part of
the real track. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
I see. No, it definitely was the initial intention. It's just obviously not.
So that's like an old pit road or something. This is the racetrack.
Yeah,
no, this is the racetrack right here.
Yeah,
old access.
You could see the banking back there.
I see. Oh yeah, you're right.
It's weird.
Yeah,
F1 hasn't used that before.
I mean, they'd have to do a lot of work to get it ready for NASCAR safety standards, but
the old Bahrain oval that they ran in 2021.
Wasn't
oh my gosh! No way!
Didn't it have a chicane on the back or something?
It certainly had something going on. My other thing that I noticed when going through Google Maps is you could tell that the person who did the imagery here was hitting the apex when they were doing the imagery, because they carry it wide out into the exit of the corner over here. So whoever got sent to do the imagery for Interlagos was having a really good time.
Yeah, definitely an F1 fan.
All right, I'm gonna put that at about a 1% chance of actually happening.
Yeah, I was expecting when you looked at the track, there was going to be it was clearly used to be a racetrack, but if you didn't tell me that was a racetrack, I had no idea that was
it's
a racetrack.
An access road. Yeah.
It hasn't been ran since the mid 80s. So, I mean,
not surprised.
That's insane safety standards for the mid 80s, let alone today.
They definitely took out some of the
30s.
They took out some of the racing equipment, but yes.
They've got a double yellow line down the back as well. So that's pretty interesting. No.
You have to choose which side to go on, and you can't cross back over it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a stop, and there's a stop sign when you have to stop and keep going again instead of a chicane. We mentioned special guest, recurring guest. We didn't have him 2 weeks ago, but he's back, guys. He's your buddy. Hey, Sam Mayer, the Minecraft extraordinaire, big video game guy. Hello. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Just got back to the house a little bit ago, and we talked some racing, I guess, right?
What were you doing? What were you up to?
That's a good question. I don't know. I got to golf the other day, which was a lot of fun. I just posted that on my social media platforms, and
nice.
I got a lot of bogeys, a couple pars here and there, but the golf game is definitely a work in progress. That's for sure.
It is for everyone. I get to play a couple times a year, get really angry when I don't do well, which I don't understand because I never play. So why would I be angry at myself when I don't do well, right? Doesn't make any sense. There's something about race car drivers and golf, and I haven't put the 2 and 2 together, but it's like we all eventually gravitate to playing golf at some point, and I don't know why.
Because it's a mentally tough game. You have to be mentally strong, just like in the race car. I feel like that's one connection that like pro golfers have in common with like pro race car drivers is that mental toughness. And I mean, you just talked about getting mad. I'm guilty of that too, but I'm also guilty of that on the racetrack. So that kind of goes hand in hand, I feel like, a little bit.
No way. Have you ever been get mad at the car? No way. I've never
Yeah, I
seen
know.
it.
It's
I've
crazy
never
to hear
seen
that,
it.
right? Breaking news.
You are right about the mental aspect, because it is. People always ask me, like, what's the closest sport to racing? And I always say golf, and they're surprised. And I'm like, well, because it's very much like them versus the course, us versus track, right? Then you have competitors, obviously, that you're up against, but there's the mental aspect of it, where racing is so much about the mental side, and driving race cars fast is about the mental side. And that's exactly all that they fight, right? Is it's them versus themselves in so many respects. And there's a lot to be learned on both sides. So let's talk racing, though. Rockingham, you almost made it through that wreck there towards the end.
Ooh, that was a rough one, man. That whole race, that whole weekend was Rockingham's awesome. It was a lot of fun to go out there and race that racetrack, but they threw everything at me that weekend to make it go wrong. Like, we fired off practice and we had a bad steering pump in it, so we missed 30 minutes of the 50-minute practice, just sitting in the garage waiting for the guys to get it fixed and get it right. So we were kind of behind the 8 ball to start with, so it made it really hard to catch back up. And I mean, it was a lot of fun, though, even though I have probably the least amount of track time of everyone there, because we had issues at the test as well. So I don't have as many laps as I probably would want at Rockingham, but we certainly tried to make the most of it this weekend, but it did not go our way.
I know how you felt, because I did the truck race, did not do the test. And we actually got to do our 15 minutes of practice, but we lost the last 15 with an issue as well. And I felt like through qualifying, even like the first portion of the race, I was like, I am playing catch up to these people who have been to this racetrack. So much of the field got to do a test there, see it, whatever. And I felt like especially in practice, I was like, oh, I'm definitely playing catch up, because I wasn't going to go rip the lap that some of these drivers did. And I was like, this place is so incredibly fast. Can't make, you're on a knife edge with the way the tires and a repave, and just how fast that place is. Making a mistake could be so big with the way the walls are. I was like, the only thing I could do was just sort of creep up on it to get it as fast as everyone else. But speaking of which, for the Xfinity car, did that place feel very fast? Because it felt incredibly fast in the truck.
Yeah, I'm sure the trucks were a little worse because they don't have as much horsepower, but the Xfinity car still felt like you were booking it, especially down the front straightaway into one. Like, you're kind of under max compression, under braking, and you get to that point where you're like super loose in, and then you compress all the way into the corner, and then it kind of grips back up. So you're constantly kind of like managing your hands and your feet, especially with how rigid the Xfinity cars are now, without having a lot of skew. So you're kind of like landing off in the corner, really leaning on nothing, and then you kind of get it all at once. And it's kind of the same off of 2, is like, you're good, and then you're not, which all 3 series this weekend would have fought that, because the angle off of 2 is just unreal. Like the fact that we were able to go 2 wide through there and not have more, we had a lot of problems, but not have more problems was pretty impressive, because it was rough going through there.
And that is such a good point, because it's the angle, the way the banking works, where it like releases you and then it condenses all at the same time. And we were talking about it on the broadcast a couple times, because I was like, it doesn't visually show it from TV, but when you drive that place, you can't imagine how wide it is in the center, and then how it gets so skinny and condensed right at the exit, right where you're like begging the car to not release from the banking in a weird way. And if you do that side by side, which we saw in the Xfinity race, some guys getting into each other. We saw 3 wide with Eckes, Retzloff, and I think it might have been Quapple. Jesse Love. They were all 3 wide, and it was like, that ain't going to work. How is that possibly ever going to work?
Like, the thing is it can work, because the track is really actually pretty wide. Like, the camera view down the backstretch going into turn 2, like, it looks wide. But like, when you get there, and unless you did like the track walk and saw like what it actually was, you would have thought that it was like Darlington off of 2, where there's literally only like 50 feet. There was like 150 feet there. And it's crazy, because when you launch off the corner after the apex, where that super sharp angle is, it feels like you're at the wall by the time you hit the gas again. And it's like, you have so much more room. And free wide can work really well because you just hit the brake harder and just turn left harder and you can leave room, but obviously you're going to get swamped doing that. So it makes it hard because you're trying to optimize the corner when you're racing people. And we just got done talking about racing the racetrack. Well, you also have to race other people in a machine right next to you. So it made it pretty hard that going through there. And I was top of 3 at one point, but the guy on the bottom backed out, thank God, because I probably would have smushed in the fence. So it's a wild place. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was. I'm looking forward to going back next year and having another crack at it.
Yeah, it was a cool event. It was really cool to see the crowd and everything. Xfinity being sort of the big show for the weekend with Cup not racing. I love that. Hey, so we were just having a discussion about the All-Star race, since obviously NASCAR's tried so many different formats and that sort of thing. I've had an idea for a long time. I just wanted to sort of test this out with you for a second. As a current young up-and-coming driver, not in the Cup Series yet, but, probably aspiring to one day be in those All-Star races, would you be up for racing? This is my idea. Get rid of the idea of like all the different formats or anything. The All-Star race becomes a rental car race. You race the road version of cars versus each other. What do you think? Am I insane?
I don't think that you would have any issues twisting the arms of the drivers to get that done. I think that everyone in the garage would love to do that because any excuse to beat something up for the love of the game, like that, the us drivers would be all over that. Like anytime that we go golfing on the golf course, I'm beating the crap out of the golf cart and swerving my tires and getting up on the berm and doing whatever I can because I just like beating up race cars. That's part of the fun. So I don't think that you would have any issue twisting the arms of drivers, especially mine.
I won't tell the golf courses that you play at that that's the case. So you mean the other guy hit you? That's what.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he shouldn't have been there. It's not my fault.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, you're second in points right now, my man. My goodness,
I'll take it.
You're right there. It's everything but a win right now. We got Talladega coming up. Where's it going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, so in the spring, I had my best finish at Daytona in my career, a second place finish. So it's pretty good. I'll take it. Good way to kick off the year. We didn't start with a DNF and 2 points. That feels great. That was my best finish there. And then now going to Talladega, another speedway track. If I were to get my best finish at Talladega now, it would have to be a win because I finished second a couple years ago. So if I could back up and get my best speedway finish at both tracks to start the year off, I feel like that would be pretty cool because it would give me my first checkered flag of the year. And at this point, I'll take it however I can get it. If I finish second and the guy that wins gets DQ'd, cha-ching, we'll take it.
Some shade.
Good.
Hey, I've been there. It's a tough spot. I know you've been through it as well one time, not for a win, but it's a tough feeling when that all goes down the way it does.
Yeah, I mean, I say that now, and then it's going to happen this weekend, and I'm going to feel awful about it, especially because this is on the record. So I'm just asking for it, I guess. I don't know.
Are you going to go hit the boulevard at all? You going to go do any partying while you're down there?
I'm sure that I'll get drug out there by my guys or something like that. It's hard because like we're only there for 48 hours at most. And so we get one night there and it's the night of the race. So you want to take care of yourself. Like if like the Cup guys, they get down there, whatever, like Thursday night, even Friday. And all they have to do on track is qualify on Saturday. So they get that full extra day or extra night to go on the boulevard and actually have a real boulevard experience. I'd probably have to take care of myself a little more if I were to do that, but the boulevard's a lot of fun. I've gotten a sneak peek at it. I haven't done the full experience yet where I walk up and down the whole thing. So it might be in my future, it might not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
That's where you got to pull the whole I'm flying commercial back. That's what I did the last couple of years, so I could stay Saturday night. I've always had a ton of friends going there. I'm gonna
have to do that.
You're gonna have to. But it's too much fun. I'm actually staying there all weekend in an RV. So on the broadcast side, I also don't have to do anything other than just talk about you guys. So I can stay up a little later. I know what you're saying. I always hated the same thing of like if I was there just Friday night, I'm like, well, I got to get sleep. Like we got a big day tomorrow, trying to win a race. It's like you can't really. It's like any other athlete. You want to be at your tip top shape, and then whatever happens after the event. That's okay. You got time to recover,
Yeah, I think best case scenario is I do what I like talking about is and getting that first win of the year and have an excuse to stay.
Yep.
Because the kind of the deal that I made with my agency is that if I win on Saturday, like if anything crazy doesn't happen, I'll stay for the Sunday race and show face there and be in the Cup Garage. So I guess that's an excuse to stay is go out there and win, and I can enjoy the Boulevard then.
Extra motivation. You're free to hang out. I'll bring you to the best spots. I know the best ones.
Perfect.
So,
I'll follow. You can be holding my hand the whole time. I won't.
I don't want to
complain.
hold your hand.
I'll follow Parker.
No offense. I don't want to hold your hand. No. But
Hey,
I like you, not that much.
I'd be like a kid lost in the Costco, man. I don't know what I would do.
Oh man, we'll get you a spiked or two. There you go.
Perfect.
So, you're gaming lately. These two are always obsessed with your gaming. Where are we at? AJ, Josh, what's the gaming? They were talking about it earlier when they knew you were coming on. What's the latest?
So the group goes in phases, and it's becoming very apparent. We're currently in the Rocket League phase. So we're playing that quite a bit. I'm still playing the craft a little bit on the side whenever I get some time, but I've been grinding Rocket League the last week or 2 weeks. So I'm not very good at it. It's probably one of the worst video games like for me because I'm struggling really hard at it.
I feel that.
It's so much fun, but I get rage baited every time I play because I try to make a play and I cost the team a point because I'm trying to make the play and I don't know what I'm doing. And again, we're talking about being super competitive. I don't want to suck. So I'll probably get on after this and start grinding and practicing, getting better for next time we play.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
had a Rocket League phase, by the way.
Oh,
So I actually know. Oh yeah, I had a big time Rocket League phase.
Whoa!
Yeah, no, we
this
broke
might
through
be
here.
this might be how we all connect.
So I was super into it a couple years ago, and same thing. I got to like where I was just good enough to probably be angry when it wasn't going right, and like and then we went and played some of the ranked games with some of my buddies, and we would just get destroyed. And I was like, how these people were flying around the arena so fast. I was like, this makes no sense. They're cheating. Like they have to be cheating. It didn't make I didn't understand. But I was like, I know how a car works. I understand the 4-dimensional play, but they could get the ball into the goal so damn quick. It was unbelievable. Couldn't believe it.
Well, they could do it from way up there. Like I don't know how.
Stealing. How do you do that?
How to do that? They bounce it off the wall, hit it to the ceiling, and it goes back into the goal.
Yeah, the skill gap between great Rocket League players, like a professional, and like a beginner, is probably the biggest out of any game on the planet that I can think of.
I'd say for sure it's quite a bit more like before I figured out Rocket League and like how good you can really be. I'd say Fortnite was probably the next closest with all the building and stuff like that. But Rocket League blows that out of the water. I mean, it's like being able to twist and flip in the air and point your car just right to get it down the hill. And I'm talking in race car terms now, but like get it pointed down and into the goal area. It's like, I don't know how you do that. And you have like only 2 jump boosts per jump. And it's like, it looks like they're doing it 3-4 times. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to learn.
Complete wizardry. I don't know, the same thing. And that's actually funny you went down race car terms because I would find myself, especially when I first started playing, thinking in like race car terms. Like, almost like how I drive the car and like what I'm trying to angle it. And then I'm like, nah, dude, you got to think 4-dimensional. Like this thing flies.
100%. Like the thing is, so like anytime that I'm like trying to turn around and say like I try to turn around and I'm going too fast and I miss the corner and I miss the ball, I say, oh, I got tight. And so I say that, and then I get flamed by everybody. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I just ignore it.
No. Oh my god, that's actually really funny. Drivers try to it's just putting us so out of our comfort zone. Like we know how cars work in the real world and the physics behind that, but you add 4 dimensions and a flying car, and it becomes something totally different. Something so hard to understand. Where are we at? What do we need to know about in the series? Where are we at with the team? Do we have the Margarita machine before? I got to tell this story real quick. We're at Bristol. I get a text from Sam. And he's like, hey, come on over to the hauler. We got a party going. I'm like, what's that? They had a Margarita machine going. Are we bring it? Do we think it's good luck, bad luck? What's the deal with the Margarita machine?
So I would say for Fridays, it's good luck because our Fridays have been pretty good lately. other than Rockingham. But like I think that Darlington went well, and all the other racetracks have gone well. So it's not bad luck. Obviously it's the after hours part that we get going, but like
Yep.
yeah, we have slushies in it every week, and we pour different stuff in it. Like this last weekend, we had Sun Drop in it, and that one hit pretty good. I was pretty pumped about that one. We did that. We had Yellow Powerade. We had like strawberry tropical mix in there one week, so it's been good. It's been the talk of the town for sure when it comes to like the Haas guys, like the 00 folks. They'll come over and they'll hang out and get slushies because their hauler doesn't have one. And then William, the 18, he actually got a slushy machine as well for his hauler because of it. So it seems like it's a growing thing for sure. We definitely may have started something.
They could use a turnaround there on the 18. So
yeah, God bless them, man. They need something.
That's been a rough couple races for that group. But I like that. It's especially as we get to the summer months. Slushies, I always liked when the teams had the ice pops in there. I just never thought about the full-on slushy machine. It's a great move. Really, whoever came up with it, awesome. Top level move. I love it. But man, we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess. So
yeah,
are we gonna have a win? Where will we be in 2 weeks?
So I mean, gosh, I got to run back Texas like I did last year, right? Got to win that one. So hopefully by the next time we talk, I think that'd be the week after Texas. Hopefully I have a win by then, whether that's Talladega or Texas. We'll see.
Are you going to win it by
maybe 2?
Yeah, maybe 2. Are you going to win it by the same margin as last time, or are we going to have a larger margin?
So I would say yes, but that means that I'm coming for the guy in first. Hopefully I'm just leading it and win it by, instead of 0.002 seconds, I win by 2 seconds. That'd be great.
That had to be a cool.
The Haas cars were really good there last year. And then the strategy sequence and the caution coming out at the end kind of messed up their day a little bit. So the Fords have performed well there. Hopefully we can run that back and get a win.
That would be nice. It's
the Andy's Frozen Custard race.
Oh.
And I'm sponsored by Andy's Frozen Custard that weekend.
Let's go.
I mean, it's a match made in heaven. It's meant to be.
Are you going to do burnouts in the grass?
Do what?
Do burnouts in the grass over the logo?
Oh, dude, if I win that race, that I don't know if they'll be able to use that motor the next time, but because getting that first win for Haas is just going to be super special for not just me, but for the guys, for Joe and Gene and all the people that are involved in this program. It's their baby. It's what we came to win banners and the championship at the end of the year. So that would be the first step in that direction. And I mean, we're second in points right now is great, but we're not where we want to be yet. So hopefully getting that little momentum boost and getting that win could really kind of throw us in a good direction. But yeah, the grass, I feel bad for the guys taking care of the grass because the straightaway, heck, I'll do a burnout against the wall too. I'll get the trifecta down. So
you can't hurt the asphalt there. That place looks pretty beat up already, like a war zone a little bit in terms of the asphalt. But all they've done to it.
They did the BMX deal there like a couple months ago, and there's still rubber down from that on the straightaway.
Oh, wow.
So that front straightaway has been through some stuff, but I'm looking to put it through some more.
Before I let you go, just one last story from Texas. Last year, do you remember after practice, you and I were both you were pitted next to me and you were struggling a little bit. I wasn't too fast, I don't know. And it was like we were all just like lacking grip, and you came up to me like, man, I think I'm pretty loose. And I followed you a little bit. I was like, yeah, it looks like it for sure. And you were pretty far. We were both pretty far down the leaderboard. And then you went on and won the damn race. And I was like, well, hell, why didn't I have a turnaround like that?
Dude, awesome. I'll tell you, if our Fridays sucked last year, like take Iowa, we were 36th in practice out of like 37 cars.
Yes, I remember that.
We had the biggest turnaround from Fridays to Saturdays last year and won 2 of the probably best races of my career. So I remember walking up to you and I just asked the dumbest question. And I was like, are you loose? I'm loose. I don't know what to do. Help. Like, I'm just like, I need to talk to anybody. Like, my car is just not very kind to me right now. I need any sort of affirmation that everything is going to be okay. and I guess it ended up working out.
I'm glad to have helped. I wish it went the other way, but it didn't. So I'm happy for you. Glad it worked out. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, of course, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, peace.
See ya.
So, guys,
So what was up with this DQ in
yes,
the Xfinity race?
So
where
we
you
should
going
talk
to
about
next?
this. Yeah, well, I was going to get there, but no, you jumped me, but that's fine. We'll do it. We'll get to that. So Jesse Love.
I'm usurping your host powers.
No, it's fine. I like it. I don't want to be the host. You should host. That sounds
All right.
better.
I'm the host now.
Okay.
That could be a
And
suggestion
yeah,
made.
fix
Remember,
that.
we told them we want talent decisions as well. They might ask that you be the host, AJ. So,
All right.
yeah. Let's
We'll
talk
see what
about
they say.
Yeah, let's see what they say in the comments. Jesse Love wins Rockingham, gets DQ'd for a rear suspension violation. Essentially, they're talking about the area where you have the U-bolts, which connect to the rear end, which basically connects the rear end and the truck arms to what would be like the rear axle, right? And one of the things that teams are always trying to do is get more skew. And you heard Sam talk about how there's no skew in these cars anymore because about in 2022, they changed the rules to remove rear skew. And rear skew is where we basically have the rear tires point the other way to get the right rear out, which creates side force. It is an immense gain in performance in terms of cornering. And it's, it overall creates more downforce as well. And this is, if you want the most glaring example of it, it's the 77 Sam Hornish car from 2008, which Chris Carrier, my crew chief on the truck, was the crew chief of, and that was when we first saw skew become a thing where they would actually get rear ends that towed the rear tires out. And then there was the phase where cars were physically breaking pieces and parts. They were bending truck arms and building them out of different materials as almost like spring metal materials to basically have the truck arm bend and force the rear end out more to create side force. But since NASCAR took away the skew in the Xfinity Series, one of the things that teams do is they leave the U-bolts that wrap around and condense all that rear suspension into holding it together. They leave them loose, and you basically torque them to certain levels, say 70 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever it is. And teams play with that, and it's actually a thing that we, as race teams, will actually do differently at different tracks, depending when you feel like you can deal with more rear end movement. Because what will actually happen is you drive the car, you go in the corner, the rear end will physically move. And it will actually, it's a very unsettling feeling inside the race car. But when you do it correctly, it can create more side force, be faster, but you have to deal in the entry phase of the car actually physically having the rear end feel like it's disconnected from the car. And what the 2 car got caught for was that when they got done with the race, all of that rear suspension stack, if you want to call it, was sort of showing gaps, which means they had it very loose, which allowed the rear end to move. Now, I'm sure some of their argument was either stuff loosened up or there was damage from hitting the wall, which he did do, or got run into, that sort of thing, which could potentially happen. But the idea from probably NASCAR side is if you torque them to the correct level, if you tightened all that stuff to the level that would make it solid and rigid, that wouldn't be the case. So I think they had an uphill battle winning that. NASCAR's been pretty stringent about that ruling for the last 2 years, and teams continue to try and find ways to push that. And there's been things they've done with truck arms and that sort of stuff to try and have them react and move a little differently than return to the original state of which you presented it before the race. But unfortunately, the 2 lost that appeal, and therefore they are DQ'd. So Sammy Smith will be the winner of Rockingham. How is that for an explanation? What are your questions?
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
That's for dang sure. After your 8-minute monologue.
Well, I'm sorry. It was a complex thing to explain.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Josh, can you show a picture of the skew for those at home?
I got a reverse skew, which is in the wrong direction.
So that's what you would do at super speedways.
Yep.
Right there. So yeah, you've seen this on the next gen car when they first came around. You see it in trucks. Trucks have this often at super speedways where they actually do reverse skew, because what that does is if the car settles in the middle of the corner, it removes the spoiler from the air, not sticking out to the right. So it actually centers the car in the center of the corners and creates less drag doing reverse skew. That's why you do that, which if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing the 43 car of Eric Jones at Daytona doing that exact thing. So we don't in Xfinity, you won't do that so much because of the rules and how small the spoiler is in Xfinity, and the cars are already on edge. But in trucks, you'll do that for sure. And obviously in the next gen car when they first started, they did a lot of that.
And here's an image. You can kind of see the 77 that you were talking about.
That car isn't spinning out.
Yeah.
That's going down the backstretch, by the way. That's now in like the tri-oval.
That's crazy. Is it really? That's the backstretch?
I think that's the backstretch, yeah.
I think that's off of turn 4 because of the line.
Yeah.
That's off turn 4, but you can tell.
The lines? I thought they used to have lines down the back.
No,
Charlotte.
I don't think so. So if you're looking, if you're not watching,
I need to Google this.
Well, if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm 99% sure that's the front stretch. If you're not watching on YouTube, we're looking at the 77 and Sam Hornish being the rear of the car is crab walking down the straightaway. Basically, it was the most egregious form of skew we've ever seen. Then NASCAR reacted to that, and then it's been ever since they unlocked that Pandora's box with that car, it's been a chase for skew for as long as I can remember now in NASCAR.
So. Somebody clearly went through all the Google images of Charlotte and got rid of the lines on the backstretch. That definitely used to be there.
they wiped it.
Okay, I was wrong. I'm sorry. It looked like it was the backstretch at first. My bad.
Other big news: Rodney Childers and Spire parted ways. The former crew chief for Kevin Harvick and champion crew chief of 2014. He went to Spire this season to be the crew chief on the 7 with Justin Haley, and apparently they decided to part ways. And Rodney put out a thing saying sometimes things don't work out, but he was going to take a break and see what is in store for him in the racing world going forward. So I'm sure more will come.
I'm curious to why.
More will be found out soon.
Yeah, I'm interested to see why did break apart so suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those things can be, there's a difference in opinion on how, especially with
difference in vision.
Yeah, vision. That's a great point. It's vision. I think that's sometimes where it can be the largest thing is a difference in vision and a difference in, hey, where's this, especially for an organization like that, that's sort of growing at a very fast rate. It can be like, hey, I believe we should be going this direction. And they're like, no, this is the path it's going. And it's like, well, that's the case. It's not the place for me. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's pretty common in motorsports.
It is.
A lot, especially in like F1.
Having people, technical directors often run into that for sure. We mentioned Rockingham was this past weekend. Guys, can I just say, the CW, over 1 million viewers once again, all 10 races over 1 million. First time since 2017 that this has occurred.
Wow.
Look, I want to be really...
It was you.
Well, yeah, no, it's me. Yeah, no, I was just saying. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, there were no.
I tried to be humble,
right?
What's that?
Were there any? I don't remember there being any Cup drivers in the race because it was.
No, there wasn't. Wasn't.
So
were they not allowed to race in that race? Because I am just surprised that there was no Cup drivers.
Yeah, I was
there
expecting
at all.
there would be, unless it wasn't a Dash for Cash race or anything.
Well, it was a Dash for Cash, but they are allowed to race in Dash for Cash races now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Oh, they are now. Wow.
Yeah. So here's why they wasn't. They have one off weekend all year.
Oh yeah, true. Hey, it's a great point.
So they were all out playing golf, getting angry.
Well, you had Kyle Larson was at WWE, wherever. I saw somewhere on vacation.
At WrestleMania?
Yeah, he was at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Was that part of the
and Chase Briscoe was, I think.
Was that part of the NASCAR?
No, Chase Briscoe was at Monday Night Raw.
I can't keep up with those.
Okay. I feel like if I say those are the same thing, I'm gonna get roasted in the comments.
I don't know. I did watch WrestleMania. I don't watch wrestling. I did watch WrestleMania. See what all the hoopla is about. Kind of boring. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. You just saved me from getting roasted in the comments. Thank you.
Oh no. I'm saying wrestling's cool. I think a lot of the general consensus from wrestling fans is that it wasn't that great.
Do you think they were there for the NASCAR? Get your points and get the $1 million bonus, or do you think they were there because they wanted to be there?
I know Chase Briscoe was definitely at the Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw is on Netflix, and they have the Netflix show they're promoting.
Oh, okay.
I imagine that's probably part of it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But even WrestleMania outside the US is also on Netflix. So
I
like
gotta
in the
go to
US
one
it's
of
on
those.
Peacock, but outside
Yeah.
the US it's on Netflix. So maybe that's why
You-
Kyle Larson was there.
You know
should
what's
try
crazy?
He
to
was there.
compete. Parker.
Well, you know what's crazy is that the WWE building, their headquarters is right here in Stanford. From my building on the other side, you can see it.
Really?
It's right across.
Wow.
It's right across
That's
the
cool.
town, and it's one of the biggest buildings here in Stanford.
You
And
should
they
go
actually
sign
have,
up.
well, downtown.
Be a wrestler.
If you're heading downtown, they built a ginormous, what's the belt thing? The belt, championship belt that they
The
have.
belt?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
belt
they
buckle?
built a ginormous one.
There's a giant one.
Giant one right outside the
Really?
entrance to their right on the main road heading downtown.
That's kind of cool.
But
I got
I have seen it before and thought like I should go see one of those one time. So they don't
It does
do
look
it
like a
here,
good time.
but it does. Yeah, I'm curious. Obviously, it's so popular and it's a show
So popular.
for sure. So I guess it's like what is it like plays for guys, basically ballet for guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like scripted. It's like scripted, but it's also real at the same time. I really like wrestling. I don't
what
really
is real
watch it
about it?
regularly. I like watching it for like the lore and behind this. There's a lot of drama behind the scenes between the wrestlers and the company and like, stuff like that. That's what I personally like. But even
It's
like
soap
what's real about
operas.
it is like, well, when they're like falling off of the thing and like landing on the ground, that's real, or getting hit by a
True.
chair.
Yep.
Like they're not holding that back. And sometimes like there's like one wrestler who got mad at another wrestler, so he just like punched him for real in the middle of the match.
Oh, interesting.
That
I saw
happens pretty
Pat-
often apparently.
I saw Pat McAfee got like choked out to where he was like purple.
He did.
So that was legit. He was not supposed to be choked out.
It's legit. Well, no, he did. He was supposed to get choked out. That was like scripted. But I'm sure Pat McAfee. That's a big thing in wrestling culture. Is like, hey, let's don't hold back, kind of thing. Like if like it's part of the script that you're gonna get slapped by somebody, they're like, hey, slap me for real, because you don't want to look like you're all in for like your bosses.
Yeah. And maybe they want to beat up on Pat because
it's like the culture behind
famous. So
yeah, or it's like it's like in hockey when like you get challenged to a fight, you're supposed to say yes, because if you don't, it doesn't look like your heart's in the game. It's like that.
Well,
I'm
cool.
learning so much here. This is
so basically a bunch of cool stuff that NASCAR doesn't have, because all the NASCAR drivers are all playing golf instead of racing the Xfinity race, because their heart's not in it.
I think we should have, so if you go back to the 90s, they were like wrestlers. Everyone had like a nickname, a persona.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all gone away.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
There's nobody cool. There's like Kyle Busch. Like he gets mad sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. Like Alex Bowman has the nickname Showman, which he doesn't like. And I was like, man, lean into that.
It doesn't make any sense, to be fair.
Why
he doesn't do anything when he wins. Like he doesn't like bow or anything.
No, I know. Well, that's why I mean, like lean into it.
It's like, why is he called the Showman? Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, like play into it. I'll show up with like fancy suits every week. That'd be sick.
Like nobody does anything cool. It's a problem.
I miss when Carson Hocevar showed up with exciting new hats. I thought that was awesome.
That's a fun one. There's also Carson. I could have been more fun in my time.
He's fun.
I could have been more fun in my time. I agree. I could have done more.
Everybody thinks he's too serious. Nobody's having fun. And
you know what it is? It's not to get serious for a second, but a big part of it is just the culture of the teams. Like you're just
being professional, and
you're under so much pressure, and the reward versus the you're gonna get from the teams, and sometimes the crew guy, and I hate to say this about the crew guys because many of the crew guys I worked with I've always loved, but there are ones who love to poke fun at that, and then it just becomes it's almost like a distraction, and then it becomes something where if it's going well, it's like, oh, that's fun, but if it's not going well, then they just point fingers at you and be like, well, you're not paying attention.
Oh, I hate that so much.
It's like, okay,
well,
there goes the fun. Yep.
So reap what you sow.
That is the culture, and it's a problem, and until that changes, you won't see a lot of it. It's just
remember when racing was fun?
I still
now you go to K1 Speed, and they're all like, you got to be serious. This is a legit thing. We're ranking all of you, and then you leave, and then you just feel bad because you had a bad day, and you had to do that in the post-race interview.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying there's no fun racing anymore. The fun in racing's been sucked out.
I have fun. I mean, with my 75 team, we have a lot of fun. Like we laugh the entire time.
You guys do.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest things. And like, we'll have a bad day like we had or at Bristol. And I'm like, well, let's go to the next one. It's like, hell yeah.
Do you,
okay, cool.
Margaret, do you remember the video of us or at Mid Ohio, you and your truck team were walking out to the grid for the race? And I think John Paul, he has like a cigar that he's smoking or something. He's like,
Cigarillo.
He's like, we look like some bad motherfuckers. That was so funny.
Every time.
I mean, it doesn't sound that funny
re-saying
it, but the video is so gold. It's on your Instagram somewhere.
I know, it's amazing. We should. I wish we had that clip. So the best part about him, do you know that his name is actually not John Paul? His real name, nobody.
Really?
We also call him Hollywood. He's got the mullet and everything. He's the coolest dude ever, and he's the truck driver. And his actual name is Alan, but nobody even calls him. Everyone calls him John Paul because our team owner one time was like, "You're John Paul," and he's just been that ever since. And there's no reason. It's not a nickname for any reason. It's not his name at all. It has nothing to do with them.
See,
other than
that's the cool stuff that NASCAR needs back. If you go in the truck garage and if you're in a truck garage as a fan, any fans listening to this, and you see a dude with a mullet and he looks like he's straight out of like the 1980s of NASCAR.
Yep.
That he looks different. He's like he has so much aura, if you will.
100%. He's like an 80s cop show from Miami that food country shirt and smoking a cigarillo. And basically, like, just has an aura, a charisma that's just unmatched to some people.
He's like,
awesome,
this guy is NASCAR, like the old NASCAR everybody loves. This is him.
He is.
And 1%.
That's who we should do a day in the life of.
Hey,
John Paul.
Send me out there. I'll follow him around, mic him up. I bet you we're going to get some golden moments.
If there was a Henderson Motorsports documentary, he and Chris Carrier would be like the definite fan favorites. Chris, you'd have to cut down 30-minute, you'd be like, "Hi, Chris, quick answer here." But 30 minutes later, you'd gotten the answer. But you'd have to do a lot of editing and cutting him down. But he would definitely be popular, both of them. So maybe we'll make that sometime. That'll be part of our content. Speaking of being real, guys, in the open wheel world / just global motorsports, the FIA finally announced, we said at the top, they starting this week at the WRC Round World Rally Championship into the Canary Islands. The drivers will no longer be punished for swearing during stage and interviews and other heat of the moment scenarios, such as radio communication. This follows a similar clarification adopted by Formula One. Basically, they just can't swear during press conferences or official media zones. Finally, freedom of speech is back. America won.
We're kind of there, The witch is like half dead.
Yeah.
The what?
The witch is half dead.
Wizard of Oz reference. I'm not.
That was good.
I'm not saying anything.
Also, GM, they have been approved as a power unit supplier in F1 for 2028. So for the couple years starting next year, they'll use Ferrari engines, but they will have their own. America once again taking over the FIA.
It's amazing how much quicker all this went once they forced Andretti out of the whole scenario.
No comment.
Yeah, but it's such a cool name, though.
I
love
it's going to be so funny when Andretti buys it 2 years in. It's Andretti F1, and they have their spot on the grid.
I hope so. I hope that's such a better name than Cadillac. Like, okay, Cadillac, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I love the every 10 to 15 years of like I don't know this for a fact, but I assume this is the case where all of these F1 or these American companies and car manufacturers are going to get F1, and then like the F1 popularity is going to die down again. They're all going to leave, and then like 15 years later, F1's going to get popular again. They'll all come back, but it's always going to be like 5 years too late.
Yep, because it takes too long. Once it gets popular, they get it approved, and then it takes too long to put it all together.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, this is a waste of money. We're leaving."
In 5 years, NASCAR will be booming once again. Some sort of lightning bottled.
Yeah, and they'll get to that too.
They'll all be like, "We have to be in NASCAR," and then the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's in a golden moment and is obviously there and has benefited from it for a long time and will continue to for at least a couple more years is sports car racing and the hypercar class and GTP. If you watch like the WC 6 hours at Imola, I mean, there's 20 some odd hypercars and like there's like 13 manufacturers involved across hypercar and GTP right now. It's insane. Le Mans is going to be insane. In the GT3 class is every kind of car manufacturer you can think of. involved. I mean, sports car racing, although I did have someone at Sebring turn to me and be like, man, let's enjoy it. We know this doesn't last. I'm like, that's sad. But it's really in its golden moment. It's just unbelievable. It's just, in America, it just doesn't get the attention.
Well, I wonder if part of it is just because like sports car racing, like most of the funding comes from the manufacturers. So if it dies off in popularity, it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah. Well, it's not
as noticeable.
Yeah, I think it's also just not as important for that. Like they do, what the manufacturers use sports car racing for so effectively. Now it is bigger globally for sure, like the World Endurance Championship, but what they do so well with those programs because the cars are so cool and the idea of endurance racing is kind of an easily consumable thing from the outside to understand, like they're pushing technology really hard, is that if you look at it, what those manufacturers do with those programs is they put a tremendous amount of money across advertising those programs. So you open a car magazine for many years, they would have advertisements of the Cadillac program or Audi's program or that sort of Porsche, whoever's in it. They'll do the same thing now with car commercials. Those cars are there. The cars are auto shows because they're cool cars. It's not a huge expenditure like it is to go to F1 or NASCAR, potentially that requires decades of paying attention to it or being in it. You can go in and out. The idea of endurance racing is an easy thing to sell in terms of like, this is how hard it is to go for 24 hours and beat 10 other manufacturers, right? So they've always done that. BMW for years, if you think back to the M3 GTR and the folklore around that car was developed around sports car racing and what they did with it. Even though not a lot of people watch the races, particularly in America, they still would advertise it a ton. So they do that. They do that really effectively. I think of it as like those programs are so cool. The cars are super cool. Endurance racing, we know my thoughts on it. I think it's some of the coolest racing in the world, but it's definitely like an exercise of like, it's like a podcast, a show like we have. You do the whole show, but you use that to create tons of clips that go on social media. Same thing for them. The endurance racing is about making clips and advertising. So, guys, speaking of clips, day 1 of Indianapolis 500 today. Well, it's tested.
Oh, I thought they delayed it.
I know. What happened? Did they get delayed?
Time and scoring issues.
The issue was one of the lights on the track was displaying green and another light was displaying red at the same time.
That's confusing.
It is confusing. It happened to Oscar Piastri during Jeddah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There's like somebody flashing a light in the stands, right? Or like one of the buildings.
But this was an actual wheel-in light.
Track
or whatever I don't know if it's a wheel-in. I shouldn't have called them out.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, they've already had a tough week. The DQ.
But it's one of those lights that sits on the outside of the track that that was just, but no, they did get it up and running and they were out there. I was watching a little bit earlier. Man, there's just something about Indy.
It is. It's special. It's so special. When they turn up the boost, it's even more special. Qualifying, greatest motorsport of qualification in the world. It's just awesome. I love it.
Indy 500 qualifying is more exciting to watch than a lot of motorsports races.
Oh, 1,000%.
Just qualifying for it.
Just qualifying. I mean, it's why it gets 3 million viewers, whatever it does. It's nuts because it's great. It's just great. It's entertaining television, and it's a great show, and it has the perfect. I know if anyone who's listening to this is like, my goodness, Parker, we've heard this. Is he still going to talk about Indy 500 qualifying? But
and now next week he's going to wear his new track record shirt
again. Track record. Yeah, I love that.
Are you going to be able to get out to Indy for anything this year?
I actually do.
Xfinity, right?
Oh no, I'm supposed to go to DC. I think during that one. During the qualification weekend. It's a buddy's 40th birthday, so I've got 2 weeks off in May, which is unusual. But the Xfinity Series is off for 2 weeks, and I'm not racing trucks in those 2 weeks, so I maybe could. We'll see. I said that last year and I didn't go. I almost did, or was it 2 years ago? I almost went.
I don't know, but
I can't remember.
You should go. I want to go really badly, but
we'll figure it out. Boys, before we do some of the reviews out there and comments, what's your picks for the weekend?
Oh, I don't even know where everything's racing at. Talladega? Is there any F1?
Xfinity. Just Cup and Xfinity. You just
Kyle Busch, and I'll get back to you on the Xfinity pick.
Wow, no.
I need to look at the starting order.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
The entry
make it real easy.
Entry list, sorry.
It's gonna be Austin Hill and Ryan Blaney.
Nicely done. AJ, you're now on the clock.
Man. All right. Okay, just give me just give me Austin Hill, whatever. Screw it.
No.
He's gonna end up winning anyway.
No.
What?
You got to change it up. Come on.
Can't think of any other drivers that race in Xfinity
Jesse
right now.
Love, Eric
You could do
Almirola,
Jesse
Sheldon
Love,
Creech, Justin
Christian
Allgaier,
Josh
Connor Zillett.
Williams.
I'll do Justin
Carson
Allgaier. I
Quapple.
like him.
All
All
right.
right, Justin Allgaier.
Oh, I like Carson too.
Carson's
let's
getting
just
close.
do
He's going to
Justin.
win a race soon. That guy definitely is going to win a race
I
soon.
already know Justin's luck at Talladega. He's gonna randomly on lap 15, he's gonna get turned off a 2 and crash again because that seems to happen every year to him.
So are you doing Quapple?
No, I'm doing Allgaier.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I just want to make sure we're committing to that there.
All right,
I know what's gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen to him, but I still believe in him. Got to represent.
Oh, Gator.
nice. He's on a heater right now. The guy
We
is,
got to get him on.
he's on a major heater. We could get him on. We'll get him on. Okay. From Spotify. Okay, Zed said, nice podcast. First of all, thanks for saying nice. Second of all, podcast. It's a show. All right.
It's a show.
Jeez. How many times do we have to say it? Derek Henze says, bruh, both Josh and AJ touch grass. PK, keep doing what you're doing, homie. Minecraft is definitely a
Forgot
product
about
of
this.
Gen Zero generation.
Wow.
NES, SNES, Genesis, or for life. EA NASCAR
Wow.
games forever. Love the show, guys. At least he called it a show.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll
Josh,
let you know.
I can't read this next thing.
I just want to point out, I love how he started his comment with bruh and then also called out the Gen Z, even though it's like a Gen Z thing to say is bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
That
on
is
point.
It's a pretty funny comment. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you. We do appreciate it. I will let you know there is a ton of grass in Minecraft that we had touched.
All right.
So-
Moving
Yeah,
on.
That's what I had to say when I saw it originally.
Somebody stop them. What are they
I'm
talking
even
about?
planting
Oh my
I'm planting
goodness.
hay. I'm planting carrots, watermelon,
Mhm.
Minecraft, all sorts
Yeah,
of
we
stuff.
got an automated watermelon farm, cactus farm going. Like,
lawn.
oh,
Parker, this next one, there's a little plus arrow you can make to enlarge it.
I-
Notion.
I can also
I
read
did.
it for you.
I
Okay, you got
I
it.
made it large. It's taken over my whole screen because there's a lot of writing from Kevin
it's pretty
Gilardi
long.
here to our email, moneylap or friends at themoneylap.com or friends at moneylap.com. They first say, one, I would love to give a 5-star review of your show. It is excellent. The nuance that you two provide
As
as
drivers.
drivers, plus your hilarious moments make it the best. And I listen to quite a lot of NASCAR motorsport shows. Oh, this is nice. They then do a long soliloquy on the next gen's car's biggest flaws being that it doesn't have enough horsepower. This is really horsepower to grip ratio. This is very intense. Basically just give it 1,000 horsepower. They want more horsepower. Okay, that's a lot of reading. He said, Kevin asked, I hope someone will read all that. Thanks for the awesome show. Continue to tune in. Kevin, I'm going to read it later. It's a lot.
All right.
But
I just didn't read it.
essentially, I think the synopsis was that he wants more horsepower. So we appreciate
Yeah.
Kevin.
He finishes off
I
with
will-
that. If he finished,
I will
Go
quote.
ahead.
He just says, "Get that horsepower to weight ratio in the fun zone."
In the fun zone. Okay, there we go. We summed it up.
we're
We
talking
did
about
read it,
making
Kevin.
NASCAR fun again.
We did read it.
Kevin knows what he's talking about.
He does. Yeah, we want to make it fun again. That's all we're trying to do here. That's all it is, Kevin.
That's what the Money Lab's new thing. Get rid of their stupid, the coolest stuff in motorsports thing we have. It needs to be Money Lab. Make racing fun again.
Done. That's the new tag. Make motorsports fun again. That's the new tagline. That we solved a lot here today. This has been a very successful group chat, guys. I think this was big. This was important.
I was
right.
just kidding.
Now
Please let's not do that.
No, now you have to change all of our stuff to that.
Yeah, I expect that.
Okay,
on
I'm
our
gonna
next
reword it.
Friday
We're
night.
gonna reword it.
We'll wordsmith it a little bit. We need some help.
Make
But I like the
motorsports
idea.
fun. Just that. Get rid of the again.
Yeah, the again does get political.
Because then people are
These
like,
days.
oh, they're obviously calling to politics. We don't need any of that.
Yeah. I mean,
I just
but
want to
hey,
make racing fun. I just want 1,000
just want-
horsepower, dude. That's really all I care about.
We just want more people to come on to watch and listen. So potentially, if we trick them through the politicalness of our tagline, then they show up and they're like, "Oh wait, this has nothing to do with politics, but I'm going to stay because it's entertaining."
Shapiro's not on their show, but we have
We're
like
all-
a thumbnail.
We're already three white dudes talking in front of a camera. I think we're about as close as we can get.
Oh man! All right, we'll cut it off there. Thanks all for watching and listening. We'll be back next week on Monday. We're looking for suggestions. Let us know. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Money Lap. If you like this show, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Share it with friends. We want to spread the word of great motorsports shows, of which we're somewhere up and around there. I'm not exactly sure where, but nonetheless, you can also reach out to us anytime on across social media or at our website, themoneylap.com, or at our email, friends@themoneylap.com. And of course, you can always leave us a review. 5 stars gets you on this very show. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Goodbye.